Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm delighted to be delighted to be joined by Tommy Fleetwood. Tommy, warm welcome to Royal St George's. How are you feeling going into this week?
Good, yeah. It's nice to be back at an Open Championship after a while away. Seeing the things that make it so familiar, I guess, from like the logos, the golf course, the setup and everything. So, it's great. Gives you a real buzz. I feel like I'm playing well. So there's a lot of good things to come this week, and it's lovely to be back.
Great. Okay. Well, we've got some questions from the floor, so we'll go to Martin Dempster first. Can we go to the back?
Well-known Martin Dempster.
Tommy, obviously the course is really green and really soft. Can you just talk about how the rain's really going to set the test this week?
We'll see. I played a few holes yesterday, and it was pretty soft. I think what the rain has brought is the rough is pretty thick. If you're gonna, from what I could tell, if you sort of know your lines off the tees and everything, the fairways, they're not like overly tight. You can get some, obviously, the way that the bounces work, then it can easily, be bouncing off the fairways. But they're not like massively tight. But if you do hit it offline, you're sort of going to be lucky to get a lie a lot of the time. So, bad shots are probably going to be punished due to sort of long rough. And, it was pretty soft and receptive. We'll see how that goes throughout the week. But each individual course gives its own challenges, and we'll see. I've played 11 holes on the golf course, so I can't really tell what I think the scoring will be like. But with links courses, the wind, the weather makes such a difference whether it's receptive or not. But for sure, a softer golf course is, plays a lot different to a firm and fast one.
Okay, the next question from the front.
Tommy Russell from TalkSport. Hello, mate.
Yeah.
Not bad. Just thinking back to 2019 and obviously how well that Open went and how close you came. I know there's been this long hiatus. How do you kind of almost assess that confidence-wise and this tournament-wise heading in?
I think it was a long time ago that now I'm different player in a different situation to 2 years ago, but I think when you have sort of been up there and competed in majors, I was there on the final group on Sunday. I think I can take from that the way I felt, or the way the whole day felt and everything. I would say that one in particular was very much like a one-off where I can't think of many Opens where I'd be in the final group and I wouldn't be like the fan favourite in a way. So that was like a different experience entirely. But yeah, you take from it the experience you've got. I think the last, from dating back to Troon, which was 2016, when I was off the planet, I couldn't hit a golf shot, but I've improved every Open since then. If that trend carries on, then there's only one way to go, which would be really, really nice. But I think you take from it all the good stuff and what you learn. And it's like I say, it's 2 years ago now, and it's been a while since I've actually been up there and competed or had a chance in a major or even a golf tournament, given that. So, but you can draw on all those memories.
Okay, next question from Louine.
Tommy, do you write down what you learn, or how do you remember it? Because I never remember things properly.
I do quite a lot of writing. I always like to kind of, whether it be assess it or like look back on it or write something so that I remember it. I write things like throughout the week all the time anyway, and then plus I think when it's your sport, I think most golfers, like I can come off and I'll remember every shot I hit and how that felt. Like it's just one of them things that we do. You're so engrossed in it that you do kind of remember everything. So like that's one part of it. But yeah, like I'll have it wrote down, you know, the people that were there at the time with me, whether it be Claire or, you know, coaches or Ian, Caddy, and whoever it is, you know, will, you know, spoke about it at the time or many times. And yeah, like it's 2 years ago now, so like I say, as a golfer, I'm sort of in a different situation, but all those things for when that time does come, and you never know. I mean, Phil Mickelson won the USPGA, like, and you know, in his own words, it's sort of he just found something that week and went off and won. And I'm not saying I'm Phil Mickelson in any way. He's like one of the greatest golfers of all time, but these things happen in golf, and when they do, you look at what he probably drew on in all the times that he won majors or competed in them, and it had been a while for him, and you know, he still had that feeling and those experiences, and that's probably something I've got in a way, not quite as much as Phil Mickelson, but.
Okay, we've got a couple more questions in the room. Just a reminder to the media joining virtually to raise your hand if you want to ask a question. John?
Tommy, Shane was in here yesterday saying, I really don't, in fact, I paraphrase, I really don't like not playing in front of crowds, or rather, the double negative, sorry. And I do like playing in front of crowds, and he described himself as a bit of a show-off. Are you a bit of a show-off? And do you think there may be, the fact that there haven't been crowds for the past however many months it is, might have even something to do with your form?
No, I don't think so. I wouldn't say I'm a show-off in any way, and I think what I do is I love the game, and I love trying to get better, and I want to get the most out of myself, and crowds there or not, like, I'm still trying to do the same things. I do, you know, I agree that there's definitely certain times, certain moments where crowds bring the best out of people. And, you know, there's probably people that benefited from there being no crowds as well. You know, in particular, if you look at a major and the added element of, you know, you're not just controlling your emotions, you're controlling, you know, what's happening with the crowd and their energy as well, you know, listening to cheers going on, whether it's you or whether it's somebody else, listening to groans. There's a lot of added elements into it, and it does bring like a different skill set when there are thousands of people watching. But, you know, like personally, you know, the only one like in control of my game is me, and, you know, it hasn't been to a level that I would like as of recent times, but you know, still, like I say, whether there's one person watching, no people, whether there's 60,000, I'm just trying to be as good as I can possibly be, and that'll always stay the same until I, you know, stop playing.
Okay, next question from middle row.
Morning, Tommy. Just considering the mood of the nation at the moment, I'm just wondering, are you over the footy, and what was your experience of Sunday night?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot easier for me or any of us than it would be for the players. I think as a as a sportsman and somebody that is interested in, you know, like all sports and those experiences, I'm an England fan. I could massively see the positives in all of it, in what we achieved, in how the players, in how they conducted themselves, in how they played, in, you know, I struggle, I understand that, that, you know, people would say, or that they would see it as, you know, they didn't win, so it was a failure. But at the same time, our best result in a major tournament in however many years, it's hard, you know, I find it hard to admit that it is a failure. I think it's progress, and I think they all did great. Penalties can go either way. Like, you know, the goalkeeper goes the wrong way, the penalties go in. You know, that doesn't, in my opinion, that doesn't change, you know, their performances in the tournament. And like, I still see that team going a long, long way, and I just see it as part of, you know, I know what it feels like to come very, very close to your dream and not achieve it. So I can relate to what the guys are feeling in a way, just without, you know, the added like nation that's behind them. We're a very individual sport and quite a different fan base. But You know, it's much more important, you know, how those guys are allowed to, you know, I guess heal or deal with their disappointment and deal with it together and then get over it to then push on in their careers, you know. Saka is a 19-year-old kid. He's got an amazing career in front of him if he gets, you know, allowed to blossom and like create his own path and everything. So, you know, I felt for them. I was obviously gutted as a fan, but it's, you know, much more hurtful for those guys and important that they can move on and become the players that they can be. And I do think England have a very like big future in football.
Okay, next question from the front.
Hi, Tommy. Mike
Hey.
Dixon from the Mail. John slightly asked actually what I was going to ask, but I was wondering about how different this feels to you, and if because of the times we're living in and the challenges, and logistically, if there's been anything sort of particularly different or problematic this year at the Open.
No, it is a different, you know, it is a different Open in terms of the rules and regulations that we have to stick by. Again, you know, I go back to nothing changes when I'm stood on the range or on the first tee or on the putting green, wherever it is. You know, you're still doing exactly the same things as you've always done. It's just, you know, logistically some rules are a little bit different. You know, you have a mask on, or you know, you can only hang out with the people that are in your team. But you know, for me, like the build up to this week, knowing that the Open's going to be on, the feeling that it gives you when you wake up on Monday and know that it's like Open Championship week, they are exactly the same as they've always been. It gives me the same buzz, it gives me the same excitement, you know, like win the Open in a COVID year or not, I think you look back at the way Dustin reacted when he won the Masters, and that was, you know, a very quiet Masters, and you see the emotions that it brings out. You know, I don't think those things go away, and I don't think those things change, you know, because of what is going on around the tournament. So I think everybody's really grateful that we're here playing the Open. Like, you know, it's been a long time since the last one. It's a very special event, and you know, for me, like it's just you know, it's just exactly the same feelings. Like I'm going to go out there and practice. I'm going to assess the course. The excitement's going to be building for Thursday, and like hopefully I'm there for the full week and right up until the end of the event. But like it doesn't, you know, not many things change that much really.
Okay, we have one further question on the far right.
Tommy, just going back to what you were saying earlier about the football, do you see finishing runner-up at the Open then as failure?
I don't see it as failure, but runner-up at the Open would equal my best ever finish in a major, and I think you know, last time I did it, it hurt, but I find it difficult when you haven't been that far before or achieved that. I've finished second in 2 majors before, so I would be equaling what I've done over the last 2 or 3 years. It probably wouldn't, like it'd be fine. And it also depends on how you finish second as well. But I don't see it as, I would see it as probably disappointed. I would have come very, very close, and I'll be very disappointed like the guys are. But as I say, sport is very, very difficult, and you're playing at the very, very elite end. And I think using the words failure are sometimes a bit harsh. It's not what you would want. It's not what I want. I don't want to finish second. And the guys didn't want to finish second. But they still, I think it should still be acknowledged that they did absolutely amazing. And, you know, myself, I would have beaten 155 of the guys. I just wouldn't have beaten the last one. It would still be a great performance, but yeah, I would be disappointed.
So what happens if you finish runner-up again this year?
I'll see how I've done it. I think, would I have failed? I just wouldn't be the winner of the Open. If that's failure, then I would have failed. It wouldn't be a bad performance, though.
Okay, we're just going to cross to the media joining virtually. Liv?
Yeah, thank you, Stuart. Yes, we've got one question here from Ian Slattery. Hiya, Tommy.
Hey.
I was just wondering, for 2019 in Portrush, there seemed to be a direct correlation between the Lahinch form and the Portrush form, probably because of similar layouts and kind of similar intricacies of the courses. Just wondered, did you spend any time on kind of links playing behind closed doors sessions this year in preparation for St. George's, when you kind of consider Rory had a round in Portmarnock, Shane Lowry was in Lahinch and Portmarnock last week. Did you have any of your own?
Well, I played the Scottish Open last week, so that was like a competitive tournament on a links course. Links golf is something I feel very comfortable with. I grew up in a links town, and although I wasn't like a member of one of the links courses, I've played on it a lot. When I'm at home, I will go and play Hillside quite a bit with my dad, things like that. So I think I have one of the more constant, like, sort of, I guess, links is more in my life than a lot of other golfers. Yeah, it takes a different kind of preparation. Like, I feel like Scotland, the sort of the way that the course plays and the bounces and the turf, that's good preparation for it. But like I say, I have it when I'm home. I'm always playing, once a week probably I get to go on a links course. So I have that like as a constant throughout the year. So it's not like something I feel like I need to go out of my way for to prepare really hard for, because I feel like it's always around, and I feel like as soon as I step foot on them, I feel pretty comfortable with what is needed.
Thank you. And we've got one final question from Adam Lanigan, please.
Hi, Tommy. How you doing?
Hey.
It's been 52 years since there was an English winner of the Open in England. Do you view playing in England in an Open as pressure, or is it, a chance to, play well in front of your own fans, your own gallery?
Yeah, I think it's just an amazing opportunity. It's very, very special. Like I've said it many times, for me personally, there's 3 Opens. There's Birkdale, there's Hoylake, there's Royal Lytham, that I could have the chance of playing them all, and they're all within, 30, 40 minutes of where I grew up, and people go their whole lives without playing any kind of event that close to home, and there's 3 chances there of the biggest event in the world being that close for me. So it's it's very special for me, and I completely see it as opportunity. It's nerve-wracking, yeah. It's like a different like element to the event, but I love it. I really, really do. It's always going to be my home event, and like I said before, the one time I was in the final group on Sunday was probably the one time I won't have the crowd on my side, which was slightly different. But I consider myself very lucky that I get to play this tournament as one of the home favourites and to get the support that I do. And I always look forward to it.
Okay, everyone, that's all we've got time for. Thank you all for joining. Tommy, thank you for joining us this morning, and good luck this week.
Thanks.
Fluff my lines at the start there.
Don't worry.